Hello everyone, and welcome back to the techystack channel. So today we are continuing the session of the pandas. So in this session, we're trying to read this data. So I have this one Excel CSV file which has a Bengal traffic data set. So we are working on that. So here also we are not going in depth. So basically we're trying to understand. Going further videos we go in depth and we try to that. So now again back to this. So import pandas as PD. So after this, I'm reading this data. So data equals to pd dot read underscore CSV. This is a format how we can read this CSV data and just copy this path. So copy as this path and update. Sorry, copy as this path and just update this path. Okay, now it's working fine. So if in case if it is not working, then you can go with the single quotations and change this to like this format. So as of now, it's working fine for me. So I'm not moving to anything. So now let me remove this and get, yeah, this is fine. So after this, I will just keep this here data print of data dot head. So just it will give this 5 rows of this particular thing. So now you can check this. So first data is NaN data. So there is no value. So that's why it's give it as NaN. So when you check here, let's go back to here. So the first value, the first A2 column, which is now, so it's having the blank. So that's why it's written as NaN. So now this is fine. So let me remove this and okay, fine. So now the thing is, so how we can get the data only related to the let me go back here. The first thing is how we can filter the specific word. So already we discussed it, filter, but again we are going in some different filter things like upper, dot to lower, those things also we check this. So first of all, we are applying this filter. Filter data equals to. So before that, I need to get this one. No? So print of data dot columns. Data dot. So it's give this columns. So right now in area name, which is for having the name as some data, it's which is related to Jan Indra Nagar, like that it will coming. So now I will going and applying the filters on this particular data. So data of data, and here I'm applying this area name. Okay, then is equals to. So as of now, I know this area name. So for example, just assume that we don't have the area name. So how we can get this means print of data of area name, and here we need to dot unique. So now we can check this. So it dot unique. So we need to put like this. So then we can get the Indranagar is the one area and Whitefield. So these are all the having the unique values. So now I got to know. So I will just go with this Indranagar. So and I'm printing this as print of filter data. So now this is fine. It looks good. You can go with dot head of 5 just as per our understanding, and it looks good. So now the thing is, for example, when you check here, I have this Nagar. Nagar Nagar is there, and here another Jaya Nagar is there. So right now I don't know. So I want to filter with this in the specific word of Nagar. So how we can do this means just remove this data. So this is a general for full word. If you know the full word, you can go with this full word. So right now, if you don't know the word, you want to just filter all the things related to the Nagar. So then how we can do this means, so just copy the same thing and update here area name equals to remove this thing dot str of dot contains of this thing. So this should be the inside of this. So what it will do now? So just it will go with uncheck. So whatever the data having with NAGAR, so it will go and filter. So it's got throw the error. It's saying that the string method is not those. Okay, now it's fine. So I will check this. print of this data. Okay, and I can check this Indira Nagar and Jaya Nagar. So right now, again, you if you want to check only the few things means just you can put it unique columns. Then you will get this only the two things. So filter data of we need to give this here area name. Okay, now we can check this. So we got this data like a Jayanagar and Indira Nagar. So this is fine. So now what we are trying to do now. So when I let go back this. So the first thing how we filter with specific word. This is done. And the second thing is here we can this if it is contains for example just assume that the same thing Nagar. If you have this one, this also it's fine. So now the next step is what we want to do. So for example, we don't know whether it's having caps and either it might be having the uppercase or lowercase, we don't know. So whatever the thing is, just we convert it to the uppercase or might be the lowercase, and we are fetching that data. So now just we are converting the upper lowercase. So filter, just I'm copying this filter data and try to write with your hands. Then only will get easy to write this everything. So equals to data of and here my area name dot str dot lower. So we can just see these things, the same thing, str dot lower. So str dot lower equals to, so I know this Jayanagar, I want to filter with only the Jayanagar. So just I will update this Jayanagar and check just shift plus enter if this is working fine, well and good. For example, when you check here, if I give this, might be the data is not there. Just we'll check print of, copy this one and check here. So there is no data for this because the Jayanagar is not available. I mean, I missed the spelling mistake. Just I will copy this and everything I will make it as small g. Okay, and I got this data Jayanagar, Jayanagar, Jay. Okay, similar if you want to convert this uppercase, just you can change this lower to upper and give this everything is as Jayanagar, N-A-G-A-R. Okay, and just check. Okay, it's having something issue. So dot upper. So upper spelling is wrong. So make sure that all the spellings, everything should be that. So now just check now. If you get it's saying the string methods object has no attribute UP So this is there is no object having this content attribute. So that's why it's throw the error. So based on this error, we can identify the most of the things, but some rare cases it not understand. So while you are going further, when you are practicing now more and more, so that time you will get to know. So what type of this error, based on that error, we will get to know that things, no issues. So now this is fine, and I will make this Jayanagar. So this is fine. So now if I want to only do the contents, so how I can do with this contents? Just copy the same data and paste it here, and here I want to check with this contents. So let me put so str dot upper, just the same thing dot str dot contains. So contains of, you can make it either it may be small nagar, I mean caps lock or small locks. You can check with that. So uppercase or lowercase. Now this is having some issue. So data of data string no attribute contains. So contain is not there. It's have the contains name is the contains. Okay. So and again print of filter data. So now this got is, so it's a combination of Indira Nagar and Jaya Nagar. So and one more thing, here the thing is intentions will won't come. So for example, if you're typing something now, so by default downside it will come hints. So for example, if you say this when I type so it will get some kind of what is I mean it will give some what you say the word, I forgot that word. So it's giving the data downside when you go on checking in the Google now. For example, if you say Google, so it's giving this section of downside. The similar way it will won't work here. The same thing if you want to work this, you can go with this in Python, or might be the you can go with this Visual Studio. There it will give us downside the things. So now we got to know so how we can filter with this specific name, or might be the specific contents dot contents. We can you get to know. Na? So this is two things which we need to understand as well. So going forward, these things, when you go interview, they will ask some kind of tricky things. So that's why we need to learn this one. Okay, now this is fine. Okay, the next so what we can go with, already we know this one now. So how we can get this filter data, I click first row, last row, everything. So now next we can move with this so this and all the same thing. So how we can select this specific range. So for example, if you want a specific range 0 to 3, so you can just uh, table name. So just data is nothing but as a table name dot ilog and give the specific things. Okay, similar way it will works everything. And here one more the thing is, if you want to select a specific row and column. For example, I want to select this specific row. Specific row means column 1 I need and column row 1 and row 2 I need, and similar way I need the column 0 and column 7. So that's why if you do this condition, it will give this the data related to the column 1 and 10 and similar to the row similar to the column 0 and 7, vice versa. And if you want to multiple rows, so you can just use this extra rows, whatever the rows you want, no? So you can just update the thing, it will work. And the next is if you want specific column data. Okay, this one already we discussed now. So if you want to specific a column name of area name, so then it will give this data. And now the next step. So drop missing values. So how we can drop this missing values means, so when you go and check here, I have this missing values related to NaN. So now I don't want to this missing values. So I want to leave this miss value. Okay, how we can do this one? Na? Filter data, just copy that filter data dot drop NA. Okay, now when you check this one, it's released that data. So if you want to assign these things to the same thing, for example, I will go this drop NA data. Okay, when I print here, print of drop NA data. Here it's a spelling mistake. So print of any data. So now what I did, it's remove that data. The first whatever the column is in first A1, so that it got removed from here. So this is the one how we can drop means. So we can drop like this. And here if you want, I mean right now here we assign the variable and we drop this one. So for example, if you don't want to, I mean when you say this, I don't want to declare one more variable. Just I want to drop this in without assigning any variable. So for that, how we can do now? So just filter data, filter data, drop NA, just copy the same thing. Dot NA here in place equals to true. In place. So and we can check this data. So just I'm print off this data. And I can check this data. So there is no need to arrange, I mean, they need not to declare another variable. So like this, we can use these things. So this and all we need to remember once we are moving that one. So we need to just remember not all the things. Sometimes you can Google it and we'll get to know those things. So for better, if you want then, so you can go and note somewhere else. So it will be used for some other things. So it will be used for some other purposes after that. So right now, this is the done. And the next step is if you want to fill with any values with a null. So for example, previous what we did now, so whatever the empty values are there, you can just drop it. So now I don't want to drop it. I want to replace with some other things. So we'll do that as well. So here I want to take this, let me read this data. So then only I will get this one, or else we'll go here, drop any, not this. Okay, so just I will check here filter data. I got this data or not, because here my value is NA is there. Okay, NA is there, so it's fine. So now what I will do now? So filter dot NA. So now what I want to do? So drop NA. So what we did, drop NA means, so which just range that. I mean drop means just it drop the row or column. So now I want to fill NA. So just you can fill NA of 0. For example, right now I'm having NA. So this one I will fill with 0. So just I will go here and print it. Print off Now you can check this one. This I make it as 0. So right now, if I want to 1, so I can change this one. If I want to some name, so whatever things is there, na, based on is your requirement, you can change this one. So one thing is, if you want to drop, you can drop it. Or sometimes what happen, if when you go and check, you have the only very little amount of columns is available. That time I want what we need to do. We need to just replace with mean or median or count of this. Then some things we are doing some calculation of that. So based on that requirement, we are just doing that. So make sure that these two things also we are using when you are going to real time. And the next step is, so if I want to rename any column with old, for example, I have this date is there, so I want to replace with this date. So what I will do, I will just copy this one and dot rename. So dot rename, so what is my old column is date, so just update date, and new column is new date. It's just for our understanding. You can just hit enter and print it. Let me print it. Okay, and the first one I'm keeping as hash. So when you put this hash, then it will consider as a comment. Okay, taking rename of maybe having something issue. Okay, columns equals to. So that's why I make this things here. So when you check this, I maybe as everyone, it's a very common issue. So we are forgetting the syntax. But if you know the concept, then we can do this. So forget about that. Whether syntax these things we can get it Google, but if you forget about the overall things, then it's bit difficult. So now I want to change this date with new date. So now you can check this one, it's got changed. Again, if you change, I want to change this to back, just I will copy here and I will change this one. Already I have the date with the new, no? So just it changed. So like this, we need to change this whatever the columns is required, no? So we can change as per our requirement. Okay, this is fine. The next step is, so how we can add this one extra column. So right now I have this column, I mean I have this data. So now I want to, what I want to know, I want to just add new column. So how we can add this new column? For adding new column, just copy this one, okay, and keep it that, and you want to give, so what is my column? So my column name is, I will make this as new column. And what data I want to update here, new column equals to filter data of, I will go with the date right now. So just for assumption. So date. Just shift plus enter and it's got created. And if you want to check this data, print of filter data. Just shift enter and we can check this downside. So it got created the new column. So we'll try to put this as a blank. For example, we'll try. So what it will work or not. So if you want to give the blank, so it won't work. At least we'll try to give so just assume that I want a blank, so we'll try it will work or not. So I will go here and it's give this, so it got a new column, so everything it's make it as a blank. So if I want to give only specific name of for enter this column, just I will enter, and we can check this downside, it got give this all the names. So ts, so like this you can create this new column. Okay, now we created this new column. So now how we can, I want to delete this column. So for example, so there is a one column user, I want to delete that column. So how we can delete that means with the help of the data table dot drop of columns. So we need these columns. So that is a syntax. So here filter data dot drop of columns equals to, what is my column? So I want to delete it, this column. So just copy and give it. So shift enter, it's got deleted. So now we can check this. So when I go here, road and okay, we'll print it here, no problem. Print of this data. And we can check. So previous we have the column as new column is there still. Why it's not deleted? Drop columns new. So let me check the syntax. So drop columns equals to, it's fine, it looks good, pretty good syntax. So but data is not thing. Let me do one thing. I will assign this to another one. So x equals to, and I will make this x. Now we'll check. Okay. So here again we need to assign this to one variable, then it's working. But I don't want to assign this to another. I mean I don't want to assign to another variable. So we'll try in plus equals to true. Let's try with this one. So if this is working fine or not, comma. So we'll check. So now it's got deleted. So in plus equals to true means, so what it will do now, just same data table it will verify. And I want to remove this. I want to remove this and update this. So let's check. Previous I checked in different. Now, okay, fine. It's working fine. So it got how we can add this new column and how we can delete this column. At the same time, I don't want to, I mean, whatever the deleted column now, I don't want to assign to another variable. I want to use the same existing data table. I don't want to create another data table. I want to use an existing data table. So if you want like that, so you can give this in place equals to true. So right now I will remove this to date. Okay. So now we can check here date column is not available and the TS new column is still it's available. So because I deleted the date column. Okay. So I will just keep it back. Let me control Z. So control Z generally how you can undo and redo the same thing it will work here. Okay, now this is fine. So you got to know how we can create one new column, how we can delete the specific columns. After this, we'll go and try to explore the date things. So when you, for example, I have in our data table, we have this date. So now I want to work with the data. For example, uh, I want to get this year, month, or the date. So I want to get this one. So how we can do this one? This is just a syntax of that. So where you are targeting, this is the date of this particular table, and change that to date time of the table. So now we'll change this one. So just I'm taking this filtered data. Just copy this filtered data of my date is equals to pd dot pd dot to underscore date time. Okay, again we need to take this one. Just copy date time of this one. So it got worked. So now next what I want to know. So I want to get this year. So for example, I want to get year. So just I'm adding to the another column. Okay, filter data. So here I will make it as year just for assume. So equals to so filter data of dt dot year. So just copy and date of that date dot to year. So now it's got where it is. So having some syntax here. Dot to dt dot here. So not dot to. Let me check. Okay, date. Okay, dt is missing. Dt dot here. So now I will just print it this one. Print off this one. So when I go and check here, so I got this new column which we called 2022, it's our 2024 year. So and similar way if you want to get something like this one, so if you want to get month you can just use this month dt dot month. So just I will take the same thing and here I will year instead of this I will make it as month. This is my column date dt dot month. Okay, just I will go downside and we can see this is the month 1, month 2, month 3 and so on. So right now if I want to get date again you can just go and just go here and date. I want now date. So I got this. Okay, no attribute day, small d. So we can check this where it is print of date. Okay, let's go inside here. So we can check this day. It's called one, two, second, third, fourth date is enough. The similar way it got it. So now if I want to get this name, so I mean date, for example, today is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like that. Na? So just you can give this name. And when I go and check here, so we got this day. Right now it's not visible in here. So the day it's got printed. So why it's not showing? One second. Why it's showing in different format? Okay, parking date, everything is here. So beyond that, deleting date name, the same thing only. Date name. Okay, we need to give is open and close prices. Now you can check here. So now we got this Saturday, Sunday. So whatever date is in, so it got displayed. So now I want to display only the dates. For example, I want to display only the dates. How we can do this means, so just you can take this already filter day is in. So just take this filter and keep it here. Now we can get is only the days. So it got Saturdays, Sundays, Thursdays, and like that. So similar way we can do this multiple things with the date. If you want to change the date format for it, okay. Rest of the things you can do hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. These things are we can do. So now I want to change this date format. So right now I have this date format. Which format? So I have the date format is hyphen is there. So now I want to change this to the another format like slash forward slash. So what we need to do now? So dt.strf time. So you can just take this one. This is the syntax. So just I'm copying this syntax. Okay. And I will remove this update. And whatever the df is, just replace with df with our data table. Okay. I will explain you. So in this table, I am storing. So whatever the date is there, na? So for the date, what I want to do, I want to change the date. So again, where it is occurring in this particular data column and filter data dot strf time. So generally, whatever the time is, I mean this time. Sorry, whatever this. So this is a stamp is a date. That date we can affect it to the this format. So hyphen, sorry, slash. So now I will give here print of this one, filter date of date. So just I'm looking only this column. Okay, where is it's having dt name, something got missed, filter data. So series has no object. As per the syntax, here I given this filter data. When we go and check this syntax, now it's having did. One second. It's going, okay, where it went. Let me put control Z. Okay. So as per the syntax, we can just see this one. DT is there, but what we did, we can make it as filter data. We can just replace with that DT, and we can run. Now we can check this. The format has been changed. So previous, what is format? I will put here previous format. Print of filter data. Okay. Now what is happened? Let's go inside here. Okay, it's having the top. So previous it's have the format of hyphen. Now the same format we change to the slash. So if you want to change to dot, so you can just keep it as a dot. Dot. Let me put dot dot. And this is not required. It's going beyond it. So now we can check this. So it got changed. So based on that, our requirements, we can change the date format as well. And if you want to work with along with the date, so what we need to know, we need to just change this pd dot to date. Okay, PD dot to date. So this PD is nothing but it's a pandas dot to date time. So after this, where which column you are affecting, this is the my column. The same things we can do this one. So under this filter date, under the column date, so I want to change and unwork along with this one. So similar way, the same things we applied here. So with I want to change this. Now here changing this format date format. So from hyphen to dot or might be slash like that. So like this it will work, and just try to practice these things. I mean, when you say initially it will slightly bit difficult to understand. So initially what I did is, so just I will try to practice one by one, and I take a notes on this. and keeping all together at once. So right now also when you're saying that, so this syntax I forget. So syntax, it might be a forget, but the concept, if you remember the concept, how we can work with pandas, everything, that's it fine. So syntax you can get it in the Google, whatever is somewhere else you can get. But the thing is, so how it will work? That's the main concept. We need to understand the concept. So once you understand the concept, the syntax, everything will come very, very easily. No issues with that. And based on that errors, we can check this and we can go with that. No issues with that.